Hey everyone, Armchair Dragon coming at you once again. I hope you're all doing very well today. And speaking of today, I'm doing an audio video discussing more of what I hope slash would like to see in the next installment of the Grand Theft Auto series, GTA 6, along with GTA 6 rumors and speculations. So with that being said, let's jump on in. And these are in no particular order, they just happen to be how I wrote them down. And number one is extreme weather. Some examples of that would include floods, snowstorms, wildfires, and so forth. Number two, if not fully, at least semi destructible environments, I'm going to point towards games like Minecraft, Battlefield 4, and Far Cry 2. Number three, vehicles should run out of gas if you don't refuel them, or with electric slash smart cars, they should run out of juice, power, whatever you want to call it, if you don't recharge them. Just like in real life, and again, I know it's a game, but this is something that needs to be added since Rockstar goes the more realistic route with GTA. Number four, it's time for skateboards to be added. Come on, hell, maybe even scooters. And why is it that you can ride the metro and in taxis, but you can't ride the bus? So let's add being able to ride the bus as another form of getting around town, the state, city, whatever. Number five, speaking of getting around, how about improving the dynamics, physics, whatever you want to call it, with the AI drivers? It'd be nice if they actually had some fucking common sense about them. And no, I don't expect every AI driver to be the poster child for the DMV, but we all know that the AI drivers are some stupid ass mofos. They freak out literally over nothing. They run over other AI pedestrians and, other players, including yourself, and more. Having them run stop signs, red lights, cut you off, in traffic like they do, that's a part of real life. Again, I know it's a game, but can we please tone down the stupidity of the AI drivers? I mean, it'd be really appreciated, I'm sure, not just by me, but lots of other people as well. And while we're talking about improving things, and I'm pretty sure I addressed this in part one as well, but the police in GTA 6 need to be more like they were in GTA 4, where you had to provoke them in order to get a wanted level. And you all know what I'm talking about. Prime example is, you're actually behaving yourself. You're not causing any mischief or anything. You're sitting at a red light. The cops come flying through chasing AI baddies, slam into you, and what happens? You get a wanted level. And that's bullshit. They need to revamp it to where if you run a red light or speed and a cop sees you doing it, at the very worst, you're getting a ticket. The cops need to take more provoking before you get them after you. I mean, I've literally been minding my own damn business, playing nice, not causing mayhem, killing people, doing anything wrong, and I've gotten a 1-star wanted level, and I'm literally sitting there like, what the fuck? Like, I couldn't figure it out. I'm just sitting there like, what did I do? I'm in my own vehicle. I didn't steal anybody's car. I haven't shot at anybody. I haven't ran anybody over. I haven't killed anybody. Why do I have a wanted level? And that's just something that definitely needs to be revamped. Moving on, number seven, better stealth mechanics. And I'm going to say along the lines of, say, Metal Gear Solid, Hitman. Let's face it, the NPCs and the AIs know where you are, even if you're hidden and not making any noise at all. And also, how about giving us better climbing physics? In GTA 4, you could literally hang off of certain things and climb along the ledge, with your hands. But you can't do that in GTA 5. And why is it that if you look like you're in a dead end, but there's stuff around, we'll say like a power box, or not necessarily a dumpster, but something that might be the height and width, the size of a dumpster, that you should be able to climb on top of it and then either jump onto something else to get yourself out of what looks like a dead end, but you can't. You either can't climb up on top of it, or if you are able to climb up on top of it, your character, whoever you're playing as, they either drop down or get down off of the thing that you're on top of. It just won't let you, you know, move any further. It won't let you jump or anything like that. And yeah, I'm not talking about you're in an area, because there are areas, in GTA 5 where you get to a point where there is no way out. You have nothing that you could possibly jump onto to give yourself a boost up over the wall. But there are places that are like that, where there is stuff that you should be able to get onto to jump over the wall, but you can't. And it's like, yeah, bring back the climbing physics from GTA 4, of like I was referring to, where you could be hanging on the side of, for instance, a billboard sign, and you're climbing to the right, you're climbing to the left using your hands. Okay, why not? Anyways, number 8, more NPCs slash AI characters with depth to them, like Trevor's friend Chef, for instance. And by that, I mean give them more in-game and on-screen time. Have more of a base with them, and not just have them show up for a mini mission or one full mission and that's it. Like with Chef, other than the one big gun battle mission, Chef never really shows up again unless you have him in your heist crew for those later missions. And look at it this way. The guy that Michael meets at the Life Invader building, okay, the one he helps get rid of all the pop-ups on his computer, they could have had a whole bunch of missions just with him alone. We've all played that mission. We know what I'm talking about. That guy, and I, for the life of me, can't think of his name. He knows what Michael did. I mean, he ends up calling Michael on the phone later and calls him out for it. So he could have very easily blackmailed Michael, forcing Michael to do things for him, like give him money, do illegal shit for him, kind of like Mendoza, I think that's the guy's last name, does, after you tear down his house. He's like, you're going to do this, you're going to do that to pay me back, or else I'm going to kill you. And it could have got to the point where, Michael finally decides, okay, he wants, for an example, we'll say he wants a ridiculously absurd amount of money from Michael. And Michael has the choice of, he can either pay him or he can kill him off in a final grandiose mission, kind of like with Dr. Friedlander. I had to think there for a second, something like that. And, while we're talking about missions, at number 9, let's make them a little tougher to pass, like in previous GTAs. Granted, not every mission in GTA 5 is a cakewalk, but they seem, to me at least, to be more easily passed than those in, say, GTA 3, Vice City, San Andreas, and even GTA 4. The perfect example is the RC helicopter mission in Vice City and the RC airplane mission in San Andreas. Those, for me, were two of the toughest missions. I don't know how long it took me to finally beat them, but eventually I did. And, there's too many, that's it, missions in GTA 5, especially the ending mission. If you choose the third option, basically all it was like with doing the business missions in GTA Online. Drive halfway across the map, kill the bad guy, the end. Sorry, but the final cinematic at the end, after you complete that final mission, right before the credits roll, it was definitely one of those, that's it, moments for me. There was no really sense of accomplishment, again, at least for me, like there was with the other GTA games. And, I'm one of these people that, like, when I finally passed that RC airplane mission in San Andreas, I was like, finally, suck it, I mean, I was just so elated and so excited and happy to finally have passed it after I don't know how many tries. And it just doesn't seem like GTA 5 really has that, at least for me, there wasn't. And number 10, I want to keep this moving right along. I don't want to make this too long. There needs to be more jobs. And by that I mean along the lines of the taxi and tow truck ones. I really can't believe that with GTA 6, they did, or sorry, GTA 5, that they didn't add in chauffeur jobs with the limousines. Especially since Vinewood is filled with, high and mighty, rich twats and celebrities. They could have easily had chauffeuring jobs, like with the downtown cab company. You could have had your regular customers, like they do with the taxis, and then they could have had upscale chauffeuring jobs for the elite celebrities, people along important people, kind of like the personal fares with the taxi missions. Number 11, personally, and I've wanted this for a long time. I really can't believe it wasn't my number one in my first video that I did. It should have been, but that's what happens when you come up with ideas and you write them down places and you can't remember where those things, or yeah, where those places are that you wrote those things down at. But I'd personally love to see and be able to play as a main character that has a very in-depth backstory, filled with sorrow, heartbreak, grief, whatever. Maybe they have a drug problem, or they're an alcoholic, maybe they have a mental illness. There's endless possibilities there. And basically what I'm getting at is make us feel for the character. Whether we love or hate them, you know, I want to be able to feel for them, be like, damn, it games used to be like that where you would be, you're not breaking down in tears and like crying, like a little baby back bitch, but you'd feel for the character. You'd feel for what they were going through. I mean, I'm gonna shoot to Final Fantasy VII when, and I is it Ares? I know it's probably not Ares, but it's something like that. That when she dies, you're just like, dude, what the fuck? I mean, a lot of people were like that, and you just don't really have that. Especially with GTA 5. And it's like, we need a little bit more of that, feeling for the characters, and, if they die, being like, God damn, I didn't see that coming. You know what I mean? And another thing I'd like to see with the main character is having them have a buddy, a friend, that they can confide in. That, if you're in a tough situation, you can call them up and they're ready to throw down. They show up with their trunk full of weapons, whatever. You can also go and hang out and do activities with them, like the strip club, bar. Bring back going out and eating, bring back the pool table and being able to go and play pool with them, and bowling, and just all sorts of things. But somebody that you can hang out with and do stuff with, not just like in GTA 5. You can call up whomever you're playing as. You can call up one of the other dudes, and it's like, but what do? You go to the strip club, you go drink, you go to the movies, and possibly go play golf or tennis, depending on who you are and who you're with. And it's like, that's kind of some lame shit. I don't really see Trevor being the psycho that he is playing tennis. Michael, yeah, Franklin, not really. Excuse me, I had to get a drink there, but definitely not Trevor. So, anyways, excuse me. Moving on, number 12. Seeing as how Rockstar obviously doesn't have a problem with full frontal male nudity, as we got a little taste of that in, I believe the first time was Lost and Damned, and considering all the dick and balls that we see, especially in Grand Theft Auto 5, how about adding in some full frontal female nudity? Yeah, we finally got to see titties in GTA 5, but we see way, way more dick than we do bush. In fact, we don't see any bush at all. And, that's like when you come across the, what is it, strangers and freaks or whatever. I don't even know what they're called. The random guys that are out in their trailer out at the wind farm going at it. It's like, yeah, didn't need to see all that dick and balls. So if you're going to show that shit, we want Bush. And, speaking of titties, number 13, let's talk about the strippers for a moment, okay? Can we please give them more costumes slash outfits to wear when they dance? I used to work as a bouncer at a strip club when I was younger, and aside from there being maybe one outfit in the girls, um, you know, ensemble that was always in their lineup, because there was always that one outfit that when the girls came in and danced, there was always that one outfit that every one of them had one that they always wore. But they never wore the same outfit time and time again. So how about let's give them a set of, like, say, 3 costumes slash outfits, which can be interchangeable. And how about when you take a stripper home, they should be wearing street clothes. Because again, the girls don't go home wearing their costumes slash outfits like Sapphire does, or simply wearing an overcoat like Infernus does. The girls, when they're done working their shift, they change into their street clothes, they take off the makeup and shit, and you wouldn't even know passing them on the street that that's what they do for a living. And number 14, sticking with the strippers, with the bottoms of their outfits, can we please not have them look like those stupid 8-bit underwear? Okay. And while it did look smooth and refined 7 years ago on the Xbox 360, again, I cannot speak for the PlayStation as I don't know. On the Xbox One, it looks like they're wearing granny panties from the world of Minecraft. Sorry, but if there are very talented people out there whom can make 3D animated porn look as smooth and realistic as it does, then Rockstar can employ the same techniques with making the strippers look better and move more realistically. Again, I know it's a game, but strippers are supposed to be a fantasy, and no one wants to go watch a sexy woman at the titty club stripped down to what amounts to Minecraft granny panties. Right? Right. And no offense to the Minecraft people out there, but that's the best comparison I can think of, is how stuff looks in Minecraft to what the image I'm trying to relate. And so, with that being said, now we're going to move on to the part about rumors and speculations surrounding Grand Theft Auto 6. Number 1, and again, these are in no particular order, they just happen to be how I wrote them down. Number 1, supposedly there's only going to be one main character that you're going to be able to play as, a male, instead of the multiple character aspect like in GTA 5. While others speculate that there will be multiple playable characters like in GTA 5, sadly, still no female main character. What the fuck, Rockstar? Get with the times. Number 2, it's supposed to be set in a different time period and not current day. Think Vice City, which is set in the 80s, or Mafia 3, which is set in like 1968. Number 3, another rumor has the game being set in modern day Vice City, while another take is that while it will take place in Vice City, only certain parts of it are going to be playable. Like in GTA 5 with Michael and Trevor's mission in North Yankton, or like in the prologue. And that, while we will get playable parts set in Vice City, the bulk of the storyline will take place in an entirely new fictional city that we've not even seen yet. Number 4, this one is a bit like number 3, where it won't be set excuse me, in any previous city like Vice City, San Andreas, Los Santos, etc., but a new location entirely. For example, Chicago, or it could even be set in another country. Sorry, guys, not the United Kingdom. Think more along the lines of South America. Number 5, apparently the world of GTA is supposed to continue on. For example, buildings are supposed to age, vehicles are supposed to become more rare, as the years go on, as the world goes on, etc. Kind of like today, certain cars from the 50s, 60s, and shit are worth a fortune. And that's supposed to be something that's speculated to happen in GTA 6. And kind of like how I talked about that the world of GTA needs to continue on in part 1 with using the skyscraper that's still under construction in downtown Los Santos. That, it's 7 years later and nothing's happened to it. It's still in the same state, and that being a prime example of how things never evolve. They never move on. Whatever you want to call it, shit never gets finished. It just sits there like that for the, shelf life of the game. And so, yeah, there's rumors and speculation that the world's actually going to continue to move forward, basically. Number 6, possibly it's going to be centered around / on the drug epidemic of the 70s and 80s, which means it would revolve heavily around drug-related missions. And for those of you that play GTA Vice City Stories who recall the drug running missions in that game, it's rumored to be returning, but on a much more grand scale. We're talking like what GTA Online is as a comparison. Word also has it that GTA 6 will have a lot of influence stemming from shows like, but not limited to, Narcos, The Wire, Ozarks, Breaking Bad, and many, many others. Number 8, another speculation is that GTA 6 will be a mixture of both open world sandbox, like GTA Online, where you can build your own empire, and at the same time be more storyline driven along the lines of LA Noire. And it's funny because this kind of relates to what I was talking about in part 1 about the jobs aspect, and how, for an example, you could start out as a low-level drug dealer and work your way up to being basically the kingpin, the big man on campus. Let's see here. This should have been number 9, but I have it mismarked. Anyways, number 9 claims that GTA 6 will feature an awesome and huge soundtrack, and that it's going to match the timeline of the game, like how Vice City has all 80s music and San Andreas with the early 90s, basically claiming that it's going to be very, very large, like how huge the soundtrack was for Vice City and even San Andreas, instead of the crap that we've had with 5. On a side note, it looks like my mention of having extreme weather in the next title could be a reality, as another rumor is that GTA 6 will have things like hurricanes, floods, along those lines of extreme weather. Hard to say what else, and hard to say if it's even going to happen, but I just found it funny that that's something that I mentioned, and that happens to be, one of the rumors and speculations that's going on. Number 10, one way, excuse me, one way the fuck out there, in my opinion, rumor is that it will be set in a virtual reality world, like Saints Row 4. Personally, I don't see that happening because 1, it's already been done, and 2, Rockstar doesn't follow others, they lead the way. And last, but certainly not least, there are claims that we could possibly hear something from Rockstar about GTA 6 around the holidays of next year, 2021. And maybe even mention of a release date set for 2022 or 2023. Personally, I feel that with the focus being on Red Dead Redemption 2, Red Dead Redemption, and GTA Online, plus with GTA 5 coming out on the next gen consoles, at the earliest, we might get a mere nibble of GTA 6 at next year's E3. But I'm thinking more like 2022's E3 is when we get an official word on GTA 6 being in production, and we're either looking at a 2023 or 2024 release date. Hard to say. But in conclusion, remember that these are just rumors and speculations. Nothing is 100% concrete at this time. And hell, for all we know, Rockstar could throw something entirely new and unexpected at us. I honestly wouldn't put it past them to do something like that. But anyways, I'd love to hear what you guys think. Feel free to post your ideas, what rumors, speculations you've heard in the comments. Thanks for joining me today. I hope you all enjoyed the video. If so, be sure to give it the old thumbs up. Subscribe so you don't miss out on any future content, which is currently in the works. And be sure to take care of yourselves as well as each other. And until next time, stay frosty.